What's going on, guys? It's your boy Jermane'S. Listen, guys, today is Thursday, May 7, 2026. And I don't know, recently I just think that everyone is selling this digital nomad lifestyle. And everywhere on the internet you see it, people are telling people to sign up to be a digital nomad, travel overseas, live in this country for 4 months and this one for 4 months, But I get it though, guys. Things are going crazy in America today. The cost of living in the United States today is outrageous. And again, people might find it very, very cost effective to live in a different country. But at the same time, I don't think it's for everyone. Honestly, I really don't think it's for everyone. I know America is crazy, and a lot of you guys who are digital nomads really choose this type of lifestyle because of a few reasons. One, it is expensive to live in America today. It is really expensive to live in America today. And two, a lot of you guys who seek to go overseas and procreate and try to get different women, that's one of the reasons why y'all want to be digital nomads. But I don't think it's for everyone, and I'll give you grace. Things here are crazy, and you think that American women are not feminine enough, and that's one of the reasons why you guys signed up to be digital nomads, because you're looking for a feminine woman to be with, and a feminine woman to actually have a life with. You guys think some of these women here in the States today are too argumentative? Yeah, I get it. I get the whole nine. I get the whole picture. But this lifestyle is not for everyone. And I'm going to lay out a few reasons why I think this lifestyle is definitely not for everyone. First of all, this lifestyle actually takes some type of effort to really build up, because if you don't have a bunch of money saved to really be hopping between these countries, and these countries I'm telling you about is, for example, the digital nomad triangle is from Southeast Asia to Southwest Africa and South America, and that's what most of these guys do, hop between countries within those geographic location. And if you don't have the money to sustain the travels, the accommodation, and just to go out and mingle with other people, it is not for everyone. You got to have the money saved, and you got to have an income coming in. Either it's from an online job, either it's from being a YouTube creator or some social media creator where you show what you're doing and stuff like that and get revenue from this type of lifestyle. Then it's not for everyone. I've seen creators, and I listen and watch creators who went broke living overseas, being a digital nomad, who went broke multiple times. Like this guy I started listening to him. I think his name is Ashton Holman. He said that he went broke a few times living this type of lifestyle, being a digital nomad. He went broke. So it's not really for everyone. And that's number one. Number two is some of these countries you guys move into relatively are safe and relatively are accommodative to foreigners and welcome foreigners. But a lot of these men from these countries, these native men from these countries, are catching on to the trend, or catching on that you guys are coming in to really exploit their women over there in some of those countries, and they're not liking it, and some of the times they are really out to get a lot of creators, digital nomads, dudes who come over to get their woman, and they actually get in confrontation with them and actually sabotage them in some ways or form. Either they break into your Airbnb, or they surveil you for a couple of days and know what you're about and know what you're doing and see where you live and see where you're at. And for instance, if you're in an Airbnb and they know the area, they'll break into your Airbnb, steal your stuff, and destroy your passport, the whole nine. You know what I mean? So some of these men are catching on from these countries, and they are not liking what they're seeing, and they're not liking how some of you guys, and again, a lot of digital nomads out there have good intentions. They're not trying to like really harm anyone or trying to misbehave in anyone's country or do anything that is frowned upon and against the country's culture, because everywhere has a culture, and we cannot bring the United States way of living and the United States way of life into that culture. You have to go there and assimilate into their way of life and assimilate into their culture, and not destroy it by bringing the degeneracy there. But some of these men in these countries that you guys are going to are catching on, and they're speaking up, and not only speaking up, they're acting out by trying to sabotage you guys and by trying to, but it's only human nature. If you have a bunch of guys coming in getting your woman from these countries, they're gonna feel away. You know what I mean? And so that's the second reason, safety precaution. You guys got to be safe, and you guys got to know how to assimilate in different culture and not just bring degeneracy to the place you're trying to go to or trying to feel welcome at. So when you go to Rome, you do what the Romans do, pretty much. And the third reason too is some of you guys who leave America and want to be a digital nomad and claim that women from overseas, Southeast Asia, South America, West Coast of Africa, South Africa, or that are more feminine. You claim that those women are more feminine, and you can't deal with American women anymore, and American women are disrespectful and rude and just feel like they should get everything. For whatever reasons you guys claim that you're leaving America, to go be a digital nomad and travel and, live in multiple countries and mingle with different women. Some of you guys are hypocrites. You want to know why? And not everyone is, but some of you guys are a hypocrite, because a lot of you guys are claiming that you want to have this type of life, but a lot of you guys going to some of these countries or multiple countries within different geographic areas, and you sleep with all these women and get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of these women from different countries pregnant over time, because some of you guys are not settling down in this one area. Some of you guys are traveling around, so you get different women pregnant over in different countries, different regions and stuff like that. That's just not ethical, man, and you guys are hypocrite. And looking at it from a point of view of humanity, from a humanitarian point of view, you guys are making people's life rough by going there, getting these women pregnant, and just skipping town. They be there for 4 months, be there for 5 months, skipping town, going to another country, doing the same thing over and over again, and thinking this is a quality of life you're living. No, it's not a quality of life. This is just degeneracy, and you guys are hypocrites. That's what it is, because if you're bashing out on women here in the States for doing something similar to that, or or being rude and and think that they deserve everything. And for whatever reason, you guys might be bashing out at women here in the States. You guys are not being honest and not being genuine with yourself by going around sleeping with different women and getting them pregnant intentionally just to prove a point, which I don't know what the point is. So this lifestyle is not for everyone. I'm pretty sure everyone is not living this lifestyle the same. There are different nuances when it comes to being a digital nomad, and doing it the right and correct way is a way that is fulfilling for and you can do it. So it is not for everyone. And you guys who claim, listen, a lot of you guys are getting finessed too. It goes the other way around. It definitely goes the other way around, because you guys might be, for example, going to Thailand or Bangkok for a couple of months, and you guys might think you have a girlfriend there in Thailand or Bangkok. But that same girlfriend you have there in Thailand or Bangkok might have 3 or 4 different boyfriends that are digital nomads who come to see her now and again within different time frames throughout the year. So a lot of you guys might be getting finessed too, like sending her money and taking care of her, but at the same time she has different different men that are doing the same thing. So it goes to show that if you're a loser here at home, you're just gonna be a loser all the way around. It doesn't change who you are by going to a different country and demanding respect and demanding that women respect you because, oh yeah, I'm from America. That's the only prestige you might be going with. But in America, you're a loser, and it's easy to sniff out a loser, especially women. Women can sniff out a loser ASAP, as soon as possible. Like, they're good for that. They can sniff out a loser. And when they do sniff out that you're a loser, it's either they're gonna rock with you or they're gonna finesse you. And most of the times what happens in these countries though, when women sniff you out as a loser and know that you're a loser, they know that the only prestige you have is that you're from the United States and you might have some dollars with you. They're gonna rock with you and they're gonna milk you dry. Pretty much, that's what it is. That's what's gonna happen. They're gonna milk you dry. They know you're a loser. They're not expecting anything better from you. So they're gonna milk you dry. So you have to just be a pretty much be an all-rounded, well-rounded person. They're gonna smell that you're a loser. You understand? So yeah, don't think that because you are American and you go to these countries that are so-called third world countries that you deserve to like do all these degenerate stuff to these women there and get away with it in a certain way. You know what I mean? So the digital nomad lifestyle is what's popping now, and I get it. Everyone is so attracted to be a digital nomad in today's day because, and listen, as I said before, I give you guys grace because honestly, it's cost of living here in the States is getting outrageous, and I've been to a few different countries, and I've been to a few different countries that you guys considered to live in and be a digital nomad and move to those countries, and the quality of life in those countries are extremely great for the price that you're paying, and the energy there is good too. The people are welcoming, friendly, all of that stuff. I travel with my woman, so I'm not going there for the other stuff. But I see it. I give you guys grace. That's why you guys are going there. But what I'm saying, while going there, don't mess up these people's country, man. Go there and enjoy yourself and be true to yourself. Don't go there to create any problems in these people's country and leave any offsprings that you don't that you do not want to be responsible for, because things in life, things goes both ways. You know what I mean? You might be running from a problem here in the States and don't even realize that you are the problem. You creating the problem. So don't go over there and make it bad for anyone else and have the native men from these countries chasing out other men. I've seen videos of men here from the States go to places like Africa, some country in Africa, and these men in Africa was trying to beat up this American dude because they think that they just come in there to sleep around with their woman and impregnate them and then just leave. And from their perspective, and that from that country's point of view, that's like a taboo thing to do, because you know, not every country and some countries take the idea of family creation and children bearing serious. When I say some countries take the idea of family creation and children bearing serious, some countries really think that if you're going to lay with a woman and have a child with a woman, you should definitely be there with that woman through thick and thin, and just don't get up and disappear and be there for 4 months or 5 months and be gone, and left this poor woman by herself to just bear the brunt of bringing up the child. So this guy was getting his face beat up because apparently he did it before in somewhere in like another town or something there in that same country, and they recognized him for some reason. I'm not sure what the story was behind that thing, but I saw it on YouTube and it was just wild. It was just wild. So you guys got to be aware of situations like this and don't get caught up in situations like this, because the digital nomad lifestyle is really not for everyone, man. You know, you can do it if you mean good, and you can definitely find yourself in a good situation, traveling, exploring places, exploring different, world and stuff like that. Like let me pivot for a little bit. Some of these guys, listen, I'm not gonna call any names, but I was just scrolling through YouTube and I see this dude in Colombia. He's a digital nomad. He claims that he owns a few online businesses and he's in the software tech / AI space. So he was basically there in Colombia, living for like 4 or 5 months over there in Colombia. I think he was in Medellin, Colombia, and the caption his video with was, my neighbor came over for a live stream. So basically the video was, I gotta find it and show you guys. So his neighbor was a young Colombian woman, young Colombian woman that's her neighbor, I'm assuming. Another dude was there on the live stream as well, but he wasn't present in the first few minutes of the video. But the first couple of minutes of the video was just the guy and the girl, which I am assuming that's the neighbor he's talking about in the video, in the caption. So basically he was just there messing around, responding to comments, because it was a live stream as well. The video was a live stream, pretty much, and he was just there messing around, making comments and stuff. And then people in the comments was asking, hey, you're gonna be smashing, you're gonna be doing that, you're gonna smash, basically. And this girl was just going around, nice pretty young lady, going around showing, doing 360s, showing herself up and pretty much. And honestly, this dude doesn't look like, listen, I'm not judging anyone, but he doesn't look fit. He doesn't look He's just a slob, pretty much. And here in the States, with that type of, first of all, the way how you present yourself physically, like, tells a whole lot about you. You know what I mean? You're missing something. You're not exercising right. You're not eating right. You're not holding up your physical. So that tells a lot about you. You're a loser right there. That's a red flag. Because if you're a man, especially if you're a man, you're not eating right. You're not exercising. You just sit down and let yourself just get big. That tells a whole lot about you. So that was his appearance in the video, his physical appearance. It was just like a big black dude, you know what I mean? But this chick he was with was really slim, and trim and, being physically attractive. So he was there, and as I said before, the only prestige he has about him is that he's from the United States and he might have a few dollars, and but he's just into a degenerate lifestyle, because after a few minutes into the video, another guy came on and they were like, oh, well, hugging the girl, touching the girl. They were just flaunting this degenerate idea of what a digital nomad life comprises of. I don't think, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, I don't know everything. You know what I mean? So I don't think a digital nomad lifestyle comprises of involving degenerate behavior, showing up with a young lady, showing that, hey, I'm just gonna sleep with her right now and smash, and that's it, and another day I just do the other thing over and over again, and got a few of them, and I guess that's what it is for them. That's what they're doing, because that's what the main idea around the video was about, if I'm gonna smash. But long story short, he ended up going into the room with the young lady, and his friend took over, and basically he that was the end of it. And the guy was like, oh yeah, I'm jealous, man, I'm jealous, so basically that was the end of it. So my idea is that I don't think that's what it should be all about, because you guys got to be serious and be careful out there, because of the long-term consequences that might derive from some of these actions, and you might be laying the wrong foundation and might setting up the wrong idea for other people, and basically getting other people set up too, because a lot of people are getting into this type of lifestyle, and the natives are catching on to it. They are catching on to it, and the native might do things to other people who are innocent and genuine, and who might just want to come to their country just to celebrate and just get to know other people, and just to live, and just to with good intentions. So you guys got to be careful, man, about this type of lifestyle and what you're portraying online, because of how it might impact others. You know what I mean? So that was just a degenerate type of lifestyle, degenerate type of living. That's not what I think a digital nomad lifestyle is all about. And so I was saying earlier too that the digital nomad type of lifestyle, I'm not even gonna say a digital nomad type of lifestyle, or I might say passport boys. Not even, because someone corrected me a few days ago about what a passport boy actually is. So my definition and my understanding of what really a passport boy is, before this person corrected me, was that passport boys really go from country to country, especially in the Southeast Asia, Southwest Africa, and South America. I think my idea of passport boys was that they travel between these countries and just sleep with women and just live and leave, because they find it hard here in the United States to really get women. So that's what they do. That's what my idea was. That's what I thought the passport boy was all about. But someone corrected me saying, nah, it's not just that. Passport boys are people who just give up on America and give up on just living here permanently, but just travel the world and live the same lifestyle they would live here in the United States, but they live it outside of the United States, and they don't just subject themselves to one geographic area. They just keep moving. They just keep moving, and just moving and living. So that's what the dude said. My passport boy was. I took that with a grain of salt because I've seen the videos, I've seen everything. So I took that with a grain of salt. But anyway, so the geographic triangle location or geographic triangle, the map for some of these guys is between, now if you want to call them passport boys, you may, or if you want to call them digital nomads, you may. I don't know what the correct term is, but the triangular trade for these guys is, and yes, I'm borrowing the term triangular trade from the slave trade, but because that's what they're doing. If you think about it, they're involved in some type of trade. It's a business for them, honestly, because they're working. Some of them are influencers, and they're showing what their lifestyle they're doing, and they're getting paid for it. So they're working. So it's a trade. So basically, what I'm trying to say is the area of operations for these guys is between Southwest Africa, all those countries along that line. So you're talking about Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, South Africa, all that along that corridor right there. Not only South, Africa is big and wide. So I'm gonna extend it more to more African countries. So it's between Africa, Southeast Asia. So you're talking about Bangkok, Thailand, Indonesia, Vietnam, all those countries right there, and of course South America. So South America, you're talking about Colombia. You're talking about Ecuador. You're talking about Chile. You're talking about Brazil, Peru. Most of those countries there in South America, these guys operate from, and you guys, that's a triangle trade right there. They go back and forth. They stay in some of these countries for 4 or 5 months max, and so for the entire year, they might be in the States maybe for a week or two, But a lot of people are catching on to what you guys are doing. And listen, not only, when I say a lot of people catching on to what you guys are doing, I'm not saying people here in the States. Well, people here in the States are getting to understand the lifestyle, especially men, because the lifestyle is attractive. But a lot of locals within those countries are catching on to what you guys are doing, and if it doesn't sit well with their culture, you guys are harming yourselves out there. And you guys are, as I said, you have to be established in a way to continue to do this, because it takes money. It doesn't. I think the whole establishment first takes money. It takes a lot of money to establish first. But when you have, money rolling in over time, it's not so hard to continue doing it once you have a rolling cash flow. But to start, I believe it does take money, especially this guy was saying on live, like, man, I went broke like 5 times because, he thought that the revenue was going to come in from his business and nothing was guaranteed, and he was like really stuck over there. I think he was in Sri Lanka at one point. He was like stuck in Sri Lanka for like a week or two. Have $0 to his name. Credit card maxed out. The Airbnb he was staying, he was doing a month by month long term renting. So you rent for 1 month, then you go on to the next month. Of course, because he's on a tourist visa, then he couldn't do like for more than month by month. But good thing he had friends here in the States who decided to send him some money just to get himself out of the situation he was in. But you guys don't want to do that and get caught up in getting broke overseas without any amount of money to your name. And you know, it's rough, man. So you guys got to take that into consideration too if you decide to make any moves like that. And you know, you have to have the persistence too. You cannot just, you're gonna have to have the drive to keep going, because traveling, man, is tiring, and moving from one location to the next is absolutely tiring. You know, so you're gonna have to have the drive to keep doing that in a sense. And